Greetings and salutations, I'm Terran Reviews. Today I'll be covering a comfy little game called CivCity Rome, co-developed by Firefly Studios and Firaxis Games, and published by 2K Games. CivCity Rome can be best described as a city builder game, but unlike some builder games, this one isn't set in a contemporary setting. Picture SimCity, but set in ancient times during the time of the Romans with military and economic management. Could you imagine if the Romans had computers? If there's one thing I know about Romans, is that they liked a good shitpost. They could probably rival or even surpass the Aussies. Depending on your alignment, that would be either the best thing since the invention of sliced bread, or it would be literally the worst thing ever, that you literally couldn't even. As governor, you're tasked with satisfying your citizens' needs so they incrementally upgrade their dwellings and climb the socio-economic ladder. Ah yes, the property ladder, where you can upgrade the value of a property by merely having access to olive oil. Italians love olive oil, so much so that their buildings level up from huts to small hovels. It's true, I've contacted my friend who hails from the old country for an authentic account. Although in Middle-earth, property level ups require access to cheap, low-quality baked goods, betting shops, and charity shops, which allow you to go from a humble bungalow to a semi-detached house that comes with your complimentary black window mould, temperamental weather, and thieves who try to steal your power tools. Oh, also worth noting, until your citizens can improve their living conditions, there won't be any women present in town. That's right, they're completely absent until your hut's upgraded to a small hovel, which in modern terms is roughly the equivalent to having a 6-figure income, a down payment on a 4,000 square foot home, and owning a Tesla. I'm not sure if this is meant to be a reference to the abduction of the Sabine women, or if the developers are just shooting for realism, but either explanation seems equally likely, so take your pick. Your citizens' needs grow as they upgrade to larger, visually appealing buildings as they go from a shack all the way up to a palace. In the beginning, they'll have basic needs like water and meat, which will eventually transform into them needing access to an Amazon Prime account to fulfill their many needs, and slaves who will fetch their Amazon packages. Once their homes have progressed to a certain point, you'll have to relocate them so they can assume their larger form. Sadly, only houses can be relocated, and it isn't exactly simple. Say you place a house a little bit off. Now you need to move it away and then place it back, because you cannot place a house on something that is already there, even if it is that exact same house. 2006, baby. What a year. But that's not all, you have to keep checking the various metric tabs, such as the civilization screen, which takes into account your city's current services in the following categories: entertainment, religion, civil services, and splendor. You improve these respective metrics by providing various buildings such as a grammaticus for civil services, a temple for one of the various deities for religion, and placing down decorative items like plants and bigger plants for splendor. If your city fails to provide these amenities, then your civilization rating will drop, which will impact your city's happiness. There are also other factors like unemployment, vagrancy, wages, and research modifiers which will improve or ruin your citizens' satisfaction. Low happiness means that people will start leaving the city, meaning that you will lose workers. No workers means that the services that they rely on start to dwindle, which leads to housing downgrading. Congratulations, you've just created a negative feedback loop. You'll find yourself trying to wrestle the situation, only to exit to the main menu and start over. You can conduct research to grant improvements to various aspects of your city. Thanks to research, roads can be upgraded to supercharged roads, allowing your people to zoom around at scenic speeds. Conducting research and upgrading infrastructure requires money, and in order to get that money, you have to collect taxes. Taxes come with a penalty to happiness. The higher they are, the more happiness is affected. This is an unfortunate but necessary aspect of bringing civilization to the uncultured barbarian. After all, were it not for the taxes the people so graciously contributed, there wouldn't be much of a Roman state. And if there were no Roman state, who would there be to build all those immaculate, empire-spanning roads? Other research like a code of laws and collective government, which are completely alien concepts to the Germanic tribes. Don't be a stinky German. The research of law and government can be carried out to boost your happiness, civilization level, and triggers ANCAPs respectively. There's a whole research tree for you to progress through. Being a governor means that you have to contend with nature in the form of wildfires, earthquakes, and lion attacks. How did lions end up in the woods of the Apennine Peninsula? They were probably let out by a disgruntled German bestiary at the local arena in the hopes of them one day mauling an unsuspecting Roman. You also have to keep your streets clean. You tackle these obstacles by building special buildings with unique functions, such as the Fire Watchtower for putting out fires when a patch of grass decides to spontaneously combust, or the Standard Watchtower for slinging stones at big cats. Conducting trade with nearby settlements on the global map for vital resources that aren't present in your terrain in exchange for denarii is vital for upgrading your housing. Hostile settlements will pester you because you're the envy of lesser nations. In the campaign, the Senate will come knocking, asking for things like wheat, which you can provide to them once you have enough in storage. You get empire points for fulfilling these requests, which you will sometimes need to advance to the next stage. It's pretty annoying when you can't utilise resources unless they're in a warehouse. I mean, just look at these docks. Wheat everywhere, but I still can't send it to my overlords because my brain damaged workers are bugged out and aren't getting off their lazy rumps. Maybe this is just the game's way of portraying lead poisoning. How realistic? 9 out of 10. Speaking of money, you may find yourself going bankrupt during your city building escapades. Fear not, for the Senate will provide you with a bailout loan, which you don't have to pay back. This can happen not once, but twice. On the third occurrence, you fail the game, because the Senate doesn't tolerate incompetence. Well, actually, they don't tolerate anything that could come between them and their power. Rome had a strong military, so it wouldn't feel right if we didn't have to bust some heads from time to time. Periodically, you'll be faced with raiding armies of various sizes that you must defend against. Your watchtowers aren't going to cut it, so you need to build some barracks, which allow your citizens to find employment in the Legion, and walls that allow your ranged units to flex on enemies from above. Once you're comfortable at home, it's time to send your legions to cleanse the barbarian cities. There's not much to this actually. Armies just cross the global map and either die or conquer their targeted city, and you don't get to see it happen. Say what you will about the visuals, as they are obviously dated when compared to more contemporary examples. However, there is detail in and out of every structure. It's a special kind of 60 BC comfy. Every building has an interior that can be viewed, and you can inspect your citizens and follow them around during their daily lives. When inspecting your citizens, you're treated to some occasional quips about historical events.
I've heard they captured some wild men from Britannia, all hairy, naked and covered in blue paint.
And the odd fourth wall breaking.
Sometimes when I look at the sky, I see this big face looking down on me.
You also have a selection of standalone missions, and the campaign that comes in two flavours, red and green. At a certain point in the campaign, you get the ability to choose what path to go down first, allowing you to do military or peaceful based missions when it suits you. You'll be issued various tasks by your masters in Rome, tasks like whipping the island of Crete into shape or holding off Egyptian incursions while you establish a strong city. It may feel a little bland and derivative for some, though if you're like me and like losing yourself in a game for a few hours, this might be the game for you, especially if you have patrician tastes like Roman themed games. The ancient world had numerous man-made wonders. Ever wanted to create the Great Lighthouse? Well, you can. You can even watch its construction, though it's not as impressive as constructing a pyramid in Pharaoh. Once built, these wonders confer a permanent bonus to your city's services. From personal experience, workers might stop functioning and become idle, causing everything to grind to a halt. I found that deleting the game's config file and verifying the game's integrity, which causes Steam to download the missing file, appears to fix this. The AI would benefit from some improvements. Distances between resources, shops and storage cannot be ignored, as the AI works based on a distance system, so keep that in mind the next time they don't buy any beds. There are other minor hindrances to your fun. Things like a building placement delay, though not crippling, can be a minor pain when spamming houses. There's also no autosave feature, so save often or you could lose hours worth of city cultivation when the game crashes, and this will happen as the game doesn't always respond well to switching tabs. CivCity Rome is fun for the whole family, and it's educational too. There's an in-game Encyclopedia that allows you to click around a typical Roman city and learn about a wide variety of things pertaining to Rome and the Roman way of life, and you might learn something that you previously didn't know. Oh, and before I forget, there's even a kids difficulty option to accommodate video game journalists. The cutscenes are something else, that is to say that they're lifeless still images more often than not. I've seen retirement homes with more life in them. The soundtrack is fairly average, and what you'd expect for a game of this style, though we can fix that by muting the game audio and playing anything you'd like to listen to in the background for a more inspiring experience.
The fire rises.
Forgive me, I have several brain parasites.
Just another parasite.
Is this game for you? Well, if you have an interest in the Romans and enjoy city building games, this is probably for you. Granted, there may be better alternatives out there when it comes to city building games. However, my personal experience with city building games from the early 2000s is limited. The building upgrade mechanic might get a little annoying. Obviously there are plenty of modern city builders out there that do things better, but if you've tried them all and want to play something new, then here's a little suggestion. It's available on GOG and Steam, though keep in mind that it was slightly cheaper for me on Steam. Personally, I've really enjoyed losing track of my free time while playing this game. Hopefully, I'll make more content for the 2 people in the room that care. Maybe, maybe not. My motivation isn't exactly at an all-time high right now. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you all soon.